This episode is brought to you by Lines of Characters. Check out your favorite comic book, movie, and anime characters come to life where you get to be the villain or the hero with these characters. Check out locdesigns.com. Also, you can follow them on Instagram at Lines of Characters. And now, the Fresh Delivery Show.
Oh, 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 oh.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fresh Delivery Show. We are a show about anything and everything and all that you need to know about pop culture, current events, relationships, travel, music, and entertainment. And it features candid conversation with co-hosts and audience. If this is your first time checking us out, you can download us on the Anchor app, but now you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and our new YouTube channel. I am joined with, I made a party foul, but I left my phone on, with the Grand Booba. What's going on, Grand Booba?
Yes.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. Yo, Grand Booba in the house was good.
Oh my God. And our other co-host in the house, Jahzzy. What's up, girl?
Hi everyone. What's up?
What up?
How's everyone's day
Happy
going?
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
That's my
Tuesday,
fault.
y'all.
See, y'all should have
This
came.
is that taco that I was supposed to eat.
You were supposed to stop by, come get it.
True.
It'll be wrapped up. I got you. So tonight's episode, we have 3 special guests with us. It's a very, very good episode. We've been kind of talking about this for a little bit, did a little bit of research, and being very transparent. As a man, sometimes we want to know these things without feeling like if we had to ask a woman and then like we get yelled at, like, well, why would you say that? Or something like that, right? But so we want to ask from a woman's point of view about ethics and their thought process. So our first guest is, I actually known her for a little bit. She is a big social media influencer. We have Sheila. What's going on, Sheila? Uh-oh, it's like a Kung Fu movie. Can't hear your voice.
You know what? There you go. What's up? What's up? I was unmuted for a second.
How you
I'm
doing?
actually enjoying you guys from the beach. I am in Ocean City.
Hey.
I'm like my hat's to the side. Hello. This is a first for me, so thank you so much for inviting me today. Giselle actually invited me, so it's an honor to be here with all of you guys, and I'm really excited for what we're gonna get into because I like to talk about anything and everything. And hey, I will give you the inside scoop on all of the things about Girl Code. So
I need notes.
Really excited.
Single parent life here, it kind of sucks right now. Damn you, COVID. You blocking everything, COVID. CB is a COVID blocker, cock blocker. We also have Herrelin in the house. What's up, Herrelin?
Hey, hi everybody.
You guys can say hi to her too.
Hi.
hey, girl.
Hey.
So Herrelin is going to join us with her background. She is married of how many years?
Technically 2.
Technically 2 years.
Legally, yeah.
Legally. Oh, was like common practice? Like you own like multiple properties?
Well, we didn't live together until after we got married from the church. So
Gotcha.
you gotta get my health care,
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
no, it's 2020. You got to get what you got to get.
I get those benefits.
Sheila, real quick, what's your status? I know you were engaged.
Oh,
Have you?
I am engaged. Yes, I'm actually going to get married. The wedding date is in November, beginning of
Congratulations.
November.
Congrats.
So we are still going through with it. Regardless of whatever plot twist 2020 tries to throw at us, we are still holding the date down because,
Okay.
we just want to be together.
Mad respect.
Yeah.
And our last special guest, who is a phenomenal mommy. I do see you on Instagram. You're doing an awesome job. We have Jasmine. How you doing, Jasmine?
Hi, everyone. I'm actually so excited to do this. Oh, my God. Speaking about mommyhood.
Hey, do what you got to do. It's real life. It's real life. No shame.
It's okay. I'll take care of it when I'm done. You can't be here, Mama. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. You tell her.
Hey, please go. Go
She
tell
has
Daddy.
the most patience ever. Like, seriously, I take notes every day with how much patience she has.
Look at me.
Listen,
When I'm done, I will tell.
I'll say this. When you have kids, the first year, you're patient. After that, you're just like, whatever. All right, do what you got to do. Like, you want all the strawberries, just take all the strawberries and shove them in your mouth as long as they got
Right.
Thank you, baby. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay?
Aww.
I'm right. See, patience. I would be
so
like,
sweet.
get your butt out the go.
No, but I'm really, really excited to do this. I think it's so much fun because being a mom, sometimes being a stay-home mom, it can be a little boring. And this is being like really real. I'm a mom of two, but it's sometimes like the only entertainment is my son just staring at me.
Why would you say it's boring? It's not boring. It's a
fun,
different.
It's also boring, and that's keeping it real. Like time goes by so slow sometimes, and like I don't have adult interaction. My partner's at work all day, and then at home it's just me and the baby. So sometimes I get lonely.
I feel you. I'll tell you this. I'll trade roles with you. I'll be a stay-home dad all day, hands out. House will be freaking clean. Will be cooked, and then I'll play the stock market. So.
Oh my god. But no, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love being a mom, but I feel like this is going to be so much fun for me. Like I need this entertainment.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes.
So tonight's episode, we are actually going to talk about the girl code, or in some cases now, because we're grown and sexy, it could be the lady code. But either or, without being so politically correct, we can call it the female code. But for right now, just for the show's sake, we'll call it the girl code. But before we start the girl code, we actually have listeners out there from South. Where is it? South Africa, Grandpa? Is it South Africa? Where is Winston from?
I believe Nigeria.
Nigeria. We got listeners in Nigeria. We have Australia. We have lots of them in London, Thailand, Chicago, LA, Florida, DC, New York. Shout out for y'all to, listening to us and pushing us to get to like season 3 and, being very transparent. We're not making $10,000 a month, but you know what? We love doing it. And you guys just seeing the amounts of downloads, we just feel very fortunate in doing that and stuff like that. So before we start, we're going to go ahead and listen to an email and also a voice note from one of our listeners who has a question about, did she break girl code? So, yeah. Oh, no. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm not going to lie. The first thing I'm going to think of is like, did she cheat? Something. I don't know. Whatever. All right. Let's check this out.
Did I break girl code? I've been friends with this girl for like 5 years now. She's been single most of that time. Typically, she'll have a different guy every other week. She'll usually tell him about her dates, but never by name. Most of the time, it's by his occupation or where she met him. For example, FedEx guy, Starbucks guy, lawyer guy. We live very close to each other. Like I can walk to her place in 5 minutes close. We were both on apps, so it's inevitable that we could match with the same guy. One day I matched with this guy and we hit it off. We set a date for dinner. The day of the date, I mentioned to her about my date and said his name. His name's pretty unique, so she asked more questions. Come to find out, she went on a date with him months before that. Our date was back in January before COVID. She told me a couple hours before my date, and I'm not one to cancel on someone hours before because I think that's hella rude. I go on the date, and it's not that great. It's not bad, but it's nothing memorable. The spark wasn't there, and I was getting more friend vibes. We both knew it wouldn't end with a second date. We never texted or talked about it. Fast forward to yesterday, she told me I was wrong for going on that date because girl code. You don't date your friend's exes. I don't consider him an ex. They went on one date. I didn't even know they dated until the day of my date. He obviously wasn't that important if I didn't know about him until months later. Did I break girl code?
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't want to sound judgmental. I sound kind of young. Because, I don't know, I'll say this as an adult. If something were to happen, just like, you know what, whatever. Let me just go to the bar, So, all right. Sheila, did she break girl code?
No, I'm with you on that. If you're on it sounds like she said she was on a dating app. She said they both are on apps.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if that's the case, free for all. Like, hey, you don't know how many other people that person matched with. She could have, one of her friends she actually knows and talks to, could have been on a date with that guy. I have friends that are on apps. And I've seen them match with multiple the same people. And it's just funny, right? I mean, you never know who you're going to really make a connection with. And it sounds like neither one of them made like a true, genuine connection with this guy. So, I mean, the girl that she's talking about, I mean, obviously, she goes on dates left and right. Like, it sounds like this guy maybe, I don't know, maybe maybe she doesn't want somebody to like the other people more than her. It's like, if I can't have them, then nobody can have them type thing is what I'm feeling like her vibe is. But long story short, no, she didn't break no girl code. That is not, they were not in like an actual relationship. So girl, you're good. You're good.
What you got fresh delivery Jahzzy.
I completely agree. I mean, actually, speaking of a story, you guys like stories? I have a story. Give it to
Hey,
us.
as long,
Just
as
like
long as it's
listening
juicy.
to that, I was like, that sounds so familiar. Okay, so if we're gonna be open and real on this, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
None of you guys know about this, but this was back in college, and I was playing. I actually had an Android, and then I guess at the time Tinder was more so for like iPhones, and so like when I had roommates in college off campus, we were they would play the Tinder game, and I'm over here like I get FOMO, so I'm like, oh, like what's that, and then they were like, oh, it's an app where like we actually just like for fun swipe left and swipe right, but really I didn't realize that it was a dating app. And
you thought it was a game? Like
yeah.
Wow, that's pretty sadistic right there. It's like you're playing.
It is a game.
It's like
No,
you're playing God.
no,
Like
because-
you're ugly. You're going to the trash, and
No, because my roommates, they all had boyfriends, and so they were like, they would hop on as couples and they'd play the Tinder game, and I'm like, I'm the only single one, and I was the only one with droids, so. At the time, it was just like,
You got
okay, then
stereotyped.
when those iPods came on, and then you got to like download that app, I was like, okay, my turn to play the Nintendo game. And it's actually like real people, real guys. So I was like, oh shoot, like I'm oblivious to some of these things. So when I played, I matched with some people, and then I guess I like just try to like take the risk and just like talk to some of them, right? And then there was like a meeting I had with like the Filipino org that I was in college, and I sat next to one of my girl best friends, and she was like, yo, I matched with this guy, and I was like, oh my gosh, I matched with this one guy too. And so I show her his picture, and she's like, yo, I've been talking to him.
All right, question before you tell the rest of it. Who folded first? Who submitted and was like, go ahead, you can have him?
Ooh, I said that. I said
Look
it.
at you.
I
Bless
was-
your heart. You're such a good person.
No, because I was just like, I'm not gonna lose this friendship over a guy. And then she ended up, but what happened was he was more interested in me, and then we ended up dating.
That's not wrong.
So
Nah.
then it was just like,
Actually, you benefited from it.
I can't control like who like has those feelings, right? I wasn't like, oh my gosh, like you shouldn't go for me anymore. You should go for her. But then, you know what's so funny? I took a Snapchat and sent it to him with both of us in the picture.
Wow.
Savage.
Dang, it does sound like the same scenario.
He probably
But at
thought, wait, I can have both of you at the same time? Okay.
No, he was so
He was
embarrassed. But,
sized.
I mean,
He was so happy.
That was like a story to keep for like ever. But I mean, essentially, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't break girl code. I mean, it like when you're in the game and you're playing the field, it is like one for, I guess. What is that saying? I forgot.
All I know
Free
is
for all.
Free for all.
Listen,
What Sheila said
all
earlier.
I got from your story was honesty pays. It paid off. You're honest, and you ended up winning in the long run.
Right?
Kobe, she won.
She was like, I can't control who he likes.
Wow. What do you think, Herrelin, about this girl code? Do you think she broke it?
100% no. I agree with Sheila and Giselle. No, from what it sounded like, they only went on like 1 or 2 dates,
Yeah.
and it didn't go anywhere clearly, like what they said earlier. So I would have no problems with going on that date. And you never know where that could have led. Well,
Facts.
clearly it led nowhere, but
True.
I would have done what she did.
What about you, Jasmine?
I agree with all the ladies, because honestly, if it'll be different if the girl and the guy were actually in a relationship, in a long-term relationship, then it's kind of like, then you're kind of breaking girl code. But if they just went on one date, it really doesn't count.
I'll say this coming from a guy's perspective, Grand Booba, I don't know if you want to back me up on this so I don't get like martyred or something like that, but I feel like as a man, like if I tell my boy, like, hey, I'm dating this girl, I don't know, Jennifer Love Hewitt or whatever, right? He knows, but then like we only went on one date. Is it okay for him to try to date her? I feel like it's a no because I told him. Like, I like her, man. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think?
I'd back you up on it.
Okay, I'm not crazy.
However, if you dated Jennifer Love Hewitt, okay, and let's say I didn't know that y'all were dating.
Oh yeah,
and then let's say, and then months down the road, her and I happened to date, and then she told me, hey, you know, I happen to date your friend so and so. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. Am I supposed to be doing this? Am I breaking guy code? So there's like different instances, but
it's not guy
honestly,
code, it's bro code.
Yeah, no, bro code, sorry. But honestly though, she did not break girl code. I mean, the guy did not put a ring on it. He did not buy her a house or wind her or dined her. So
wow, he had to get the book.
The book?
Man,
the book is
okay.
good.
You gotta bust out the bro code.
The bro code.
Barney
book.
Stinson.
No, I just feel like in a situation like that, it's not about possession, but it's just like if you are dating, like you said, if it's established relationship, you know, and your friend knows, I mean, there's a moral ethics there somewhere. Mm-hmm. So now, let me ask you this from a girl code's perspective, like define in like one sentence or less, like what is girl code? What do you think it is, Jasmine? You see, you're like deep thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pun. Well, I think girl code is basically, just being like all five, like being the Penny. Oh my God, why had to go first?
Hey, you gotta go. It's all good.
That's okay. It's like being all five, like that cheerleader, that coach, because sometimes we need that tough love. Mm-hmm. That peer, that I forgot the other two. Mentor. Yeah, it's like being Penny. Stop. It's like being like everything all at once, and always like having each other's back, no matter what, and never crossing the line. With each other. So I know I said a lot, but that's basically for me what girl code is.
What about you, Herrelin?
Girl code for me, I think it's you treat it like every other important relationship. It's about loyalty, trust, accountability, all these things that, like if you're doing something wrong, I think, hey, I'm gonna call you out on it, and vice versa. It's about making each other stronger and better for each other, and then like as an individual.
Jahzzy fizzles.
Wow, I just agree with that, because it's like we all know what's right and wrong, and what's right and wrong, what's right and wrong. Okay.
Oh my God.
What's right and wrong, and like as we grow up, of course, like it's like as an adult, we know where our boundaries are, and again, going back to what Herrelin said about loyalty and accountability, like I do believe that really applies, and that's really what girl code is all about, and making sure that hey, this is girl code, so you really can't cross that line. Yeah, that's really all I had for that.
Let me ask you this. What's an appropriate age for a lady to learn girl code then, if that's the case?
I think when you're considered an adult, like 18, yeah. I don't know. In your teens, what do you ladies think? I've never been asked that question, honestly.
I say it's basic, decent human code. Forget bro or girl, guy or woman or whatever, lady, man. Just decent human code. And that should be just taught, like honesty. That's what I say. One word, honesty. Because if you could be honest, hey, sometimes we do things we don't mean to do, but it was, out of genuine, like, it wasn't in bad intentions. It was like, hey, I liked this dude. Sorry, I didn't know you liked this dude too. Obviously, he was trying to get to both of us. So my bad, but genuinely it was no ill harm or intended harm type thing. So honesty, man, is just the key to being a decent human, being a decent energy, right?
Also communication as well. Like communication is key with each other.
So I say it starts from when you have the ability to like understand what might hurt someone and what might not, So whatever that age may be, because some people mature faster than others. So it's hard to like pinpoint the age. Some people never learn. Okay, I'll say that straight up.
Let me ask you this. So with girl code, typically, obviously, that's kind of like what Sheila was saying. It's the moral compass of who you are, especially as a human being, right? But damn well, and y'all gonna laugh, that the streets is thirsty. You know what I mean? Like IG is like the buffet and menu for everyone right now, and that's speaking of, like, we were talking about like online dates apps, right? IG is a dating app. I don't care what anyone says. That's like it is, so you can't act brand new. So, but let me ask you this. So, is it wrong if you were talking to a dude and he was kind of married, would you? I mean, okay, never mind. I already got the answer. I already see the looks on your face.
No. All right,
but
maybe
you
I
love
should
him. You love him. You love him, but he's married.
I mean, look, let me give some story time. I used to have this friend who, hey, like you said, the streets is thirsty. And guess what? If you're single, go for it. If that's your hustle, go get as many sugar daddies as you want. Whoever wants to make you their sugar baby, go for it. But like this person, I am still in a very committed relationship, but this is when I first started dating my future husband. And she was like, hey, do you want to come with me? Like, this sugar daddy wants me to bring some friends onto his boat party. And I was like, she's like, you don't got to do anything. First of all, that's like, bull. Or sorry if I can't cuss on her.
But, we'll bleep it out later.
Yeah. Bull poop. But I was like, well, you know what? Like I said, honesty. I was like, let me ask him. Let me ask my man. I did. I legit asked him. And he was like, bleep no, you cannot go. And after that, it was like, so you're not gonna like come and be a ride or die with me? And I was like, I mean, girl code to me is like, look, you could go do whatever you want and I'm gonna respect that, but you gotta respect my relationship too.
True.
Like, so for me, hey, I know that the streets is thirsty out there and people got their own hustles. Like, I'm gonna let you do you, but you gotta let other people do them too if they want to be in like a committed, respectful type of partnership. So, hey, if a guy's married and he's like, my wife knows, like, she's tired of me, like, whatever, but I'm gonna be here for the kids, then maybe that's a little bit different if he's talking to somebody else and it's like, look, my wife knows. We all know that there are like, what do you call it? Those relationships where they're like, why can't I think of the name? Where they're like,
obviously we're not in one because we're not
together.
Like, hey.
Entanglement?
And I guess entanglement. What's it called?
That's called cougar
There is a
hunting.
name.
That's called a MILF hunter. It's
No.
not called entanglement.
Where they're like, it starts with an S, right? Where they're
Like open relationships.
yeah, open relationships. They're come on,
I'm
nobody
nuts
can think.
now.
I know it's driving me nuts, but I know that's a thing.
with an S?
People are, they basically, couples have open relationships.
Swingers. Swingers.
There you go, swingers.
I was like,
There you
S.
go.
S. Like, what word is S? That goes swing. And I was like, swingers.
Swingers, yeah.
Yeah, I know there's swingers out there, and then both people are like, hey, you know what? If we see what we like, we're gonna invite them in. And
Wow.
I've worked with people that are like, oh yeah, this married couple has invited me over to have like, a nice gathering, get together. And I'm like, okay, but they better be feeding you. Feed me first.
Oh my goodness.
Let me know when I get there.
Yeah.
Now let me ask y'all this. So with that being said, being with the girl code, but how do you feel about women that are hot girls? I guess, all right, so with that terminology, hot girls. Oh, I see that look. See, now I'm very nice. I'm very 90s. Hot girls. Hot girls, let's just be hit with what the language is now. It's the opposite of a boy.
Mm.
Oh,
That's what I
Right.
was
I'll say this. I'll say this as a man. You know, it doesn't matter male or female. If you want to be promiscuous, you do you. You know what I mean? As long as you're being safe and you're open, right? Communicating and being transparent, like, you know. But how do you feel about, you know, not just women, but like people in general just being very promiscuous and stuff like that? Because sometimes the code of ethics of girl code or bro code doesn't lie in that, because you know there is an expectation. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen people like, I'll have like a house party or whatever, and then I'll hear people talking like, there goes that girl. You know what she about. Like, damn, girl, you talking about your friend like that? Like, damn, like, wow. I'm going to sip my wine. You know what I mean? Like, damn. It's like the thirst is real. But, like, how do you feel?
I sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like if it doesn't personally affect me and my family or my relationship, then I don't care. It's their business. It's their life. Like, you know, I have my own life, and who am I to judge? I have my own past and mistakes. We're all human beings. Like, you know, we're not robots. So as long as it's not affecting my relationship, I don't care what you do. That's just my opinion.
That's the same. I'm with you. I'm like, hey, if that's your hustle, that's your hustle.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta respect mine too. If I'm not like gonna be about it with you, but I'm gonna let you do you. But you know, just don't try to drag me into the street too. I'm gonna be on the sidewalk. I'll be like, you go, girl, go get it. I'm gonna cheer you on.
Right, Herrelin. So you're married. Have you been in? Has like some of your homegirls been like, come on, man, just come with me. Like, you don't have to do nothing. Just come on. Like what you said, right? Just sit in the car for like 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes? What?
Thankfully, I've been blessed to not have experienced that. But like I said, if anyone is in that way, like what Jasmine said, I'm not going to judge. Who am I to say that what you're doing is wrong? Versus, you know, it's not affecting me. So you do you. Let me do me.
You boo boo.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Lynn, and you know, Booba, would you pay a girl $1,000 to read you a book? If she was like, you know, real sexy, fine thing, would you pay her $1,000 to just read to you?
No.
No. Hold on. Wait. Does that include me going first base with her, or just her reading a book?
Just you,
okay.
just reading a book to you.
Listen.
No.
I'll say this.
Pass.
I'll say this with the arrogance to it. If I was that loaded, if I'm making like $400,000 an hour, yeah, why not? Because that $1,000 is like $5 to me, right? I'll pay someone just to cut my toenails at that point, right? Not a salon, but just cut my nails. Or I'll pay someone to, like, you have that income to do whatever you want, so it wouldn't sound weird at that point. But on like a fetish standpoint, reading a book, I would not pay a woman to do that. Like, no. I mean, you have free natural reader on the computer. What are you?
I know.
Are you serious?
But wait, Shaolin,
Right?
real quick.
Audiobooks, Audible.
Real quick, Shaolin, let me ask you this. What if this lady had this whole like librarian look and she read you a book all sexy?
I've had that. I don't need to pay her. Just take her out on dates and treat her
Go to the
well.
library. It's free.
Right? I just take care of her. Just make sure the books are in order.
Yeah, but you can have your own library is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's called freenaturalreader.com.
You're like that. It was on OnlyFans, you know?
Yeah. All right. So
Speaking of OnlyFans, yeah, that's where you can make some good money too.
look,
If you-
tell me why people are getting hustled off OnlyFans.
Booba, do you have an account?
Do I have an account? No. Should I open one up?
You should put some.
How do you know?
I hear people talk about it.
It's everywhere.
Oh yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
What's your take on OnlyFans? Is that
Hey, like I said, if that's your hustle,
I know.
people be hustling their
I will
toes.
respect the hustle, honestly. I will respect it.
Hey, if you got cute toes or whatever type of toes, go for it.
my
Shit,
one?
if I had 2 toes, I'll be on there. Want to see my toes? But I don't, unfortunately. But it's okay.
I might be the only one who's not familiar with OnlyFans. Is that like a...
Someone show her your account. I'm waiting for someone to say, I have an account.
It's
All right,
like
I'll show you my imaginary account.
Maybe I should open up an OnlyFans so that people can watch me play video games.
So OnlyFans is it's like it's like Snapchat but you have to pay for it and you get exclusive videos. Like Snapchat has their own version of it, right? OnlyFans. So for example, let's say you subscribe to, I don't know, like some famous singer or whatever, right? And let's just say for $10.99 a month, you get to see the cheeks and, you know, the atoro and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So,
Even the toes.
and you see anything that you want, and being realistic, you know, being perverts is part of our society. I mean, we're just so, you know, like, I just be honest as a man. Sometimes I get desensitized because there's so much out there, you know. But now this is, you get like exclusive. But what's funny is like on my Facebook groups for like the Fresh Delivery Show podcast, there's people complaining like, man, I subscribed to her and I'm just watching her cook popcorn in the kitchen. I'm like, well, that's your dumbass fault for paying $10.99 a month, you know. So it's like, you're right. It's a hustle, and if the person's that thirsty and they're willing to pay for it, then why not, right? So now let's go back into relationships real quick. Like, obviously, I can assume we've all been heartbroken before. Like, pretty bad, someone okay, we recovered. Obviously, we're doing better. We're moving forward with life, etc. Right? Some are married, some are engaged. Right? I don't know everyone's situation. I just want a puppy. But so the question is, what is the best way you feel that you should break up with someone? Like, how would you go about doing it? I want to hear from our host. Let's put you on the spot. How would you break up?
I say, oh, I got a call.
So rough.
Oh, my mom's calling. Honestly,
Wait a second. You did that to me earlier. You're like, I can't hear you. My service is bad. And then you hung up.
Wait a minute. That's not.
Blame it on Verizon.
Okay, well, I honestly, I'm a huge lover. Like, when I love hard. Okay, and the last time I had like a really like a long-term relationship, it was like years ago. But I remember that when you just can't handle any more of it, that's when you kind of like start re-evaluating like where your life is and how for me personally, sorry, my phone's about to die. For me personally, I had to think like, do I see my life with this guy, or do I see like myself like really marrying this guy? You know, at first you're like, in the beginning of a relationship, you like have all these butterflies. You just can't stop thinking about them and talking to them, and then later down the road, you start learning more about them, and then you just don't see eye to eye anymore. And I'm not saying like it's the same for everybody else, but I'm just talking like personal experience. We kind of just like, we broke up a lot and then it came to a point where we both kind of realized like, you know, this is actually the end. We really can't get back together.
So do you block him at that point?
Yes. Or like, actually, I truly believe that, you know, with every relationship, I think it deserves, for a relationship like that, a long-term relationship, it deserves like some type of closure. So, I mean, if it was like a 1 week dating thing, it's like, okay, you know what? Like, it's so easy for me to be like, bye. Like, but when it comes to like a long-term relationship, you kind of just like, you want that closure and to have that mutual understanding, like, this just is not going to work. I'm sorry. Like, we know, like, I know where I was wrong and they know where they were wrong. And so I just like, yeah.
Did you ever want to be friends with that person even after breaking up?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, you've already had a part of them, right? So you want to always just like keep that part of them with you. I can say that, you know, even my first real long-term ex-boyfriend, like, I still have love for them. You know, I don't love them anymore, but I have love for them. And so that's the same thing with my recent ex. It's just like, you know, I have love for you, whatever it is, like whatever ventures you have in your future, hey, good luck. But, you know, it came to, at first it was just like, you know what, like, I need to get him out of my head, which is, you know, to get him out of my social media feed and all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I always want to have a good mutual relationship with the person that I built that relationship with, you know. So.
Sounds like something's still there.
Oh my
man.
Like there's some unresolved feelings.
And that's the end of our show.
Wow.
45 minutes later, it's like
I'm gonna tell you guys what you shouldn't do. This is how you shouldn't break up with somebody. Man, I have been a petty Betty, I guess, since I was 10. I'm not no more, but like Savage Sheila has been there. I created this like lunchtime hour type show where people can, you know, whether they wanted to do a performance like sing, dance, play the piano at lunchtime. In my elementary school, I was in 5th grade. Tell me why I was like, I'm not feeling him. He didn't come to like movie night with like my first boyfriend, I guess you could say. And I sang with my friends, No Scrubs, on stage. Well, we like danced to it, like, no, I don't want no scrubs. And he knew that meant like we was broken up. And I still think about that day. I'm like, that was so mean. Because later on, his sister ended up like going to the Olympics. Like, he's still fine, but you know, I got my mans now. He's the finest thing ever. But I was like, man, like he'll always remember I was the girl that sang No Scrubs to him. Like, that's tough. But like going later on in life, like to my exes, like, oh yeah, I wish I knew about archiving pictures back then, like on Instagram and stuff, because I'd be like, no, we're done. And I would take it off, delete. And then, you know, people would be like, oh, gasp, I don't see pictures of so-and-so on your IG anymore. Like, did you guys break up? Yes, we did.
like common sense. Come on now.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's like, you know, now I archive everything. It's like, you don't, because I lost those pictures. Like, I didn't have them anywhere else. And I kind of like, you know, you get that instant like gratification of like, we're done, and you delete it. And I'd be like, man, I actually kind of like that picture. I shouldn't have deleted it.
So, Herrelin, since you're married, like, whose heart did you have to break before you got to that point of?
Oh, I only
one.
had one other boyfriend before my husband.
Look
We
at
were together for
you,
like
such a
3
saint.
years.
Man, loyal.
Wow.
I love it.
I'll keep her.
Wow. Rare.
Yes,
That's
yes,
very
yes.
rare. Good for you. Good for you.
I love
Yeah.
it. I'm all for it.
How about you,
Yeah.
Jasmine? Whose heart do you have to break to get to the most current one? Or if there's one, or 2, 3.
10.
It's 2020.
Right? She's like, oh, let me count how many.
I don't
I know
think you
y'all
heard
got a
her
list.
name.
Can you hear us? Or
Jasmine?
oh, she's on mute. Hold on, let me unmute her. That was like a kung fu movie.
Fine, then you guys can't hear. Give me one
Okay.
second.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. I'm done.
Hey, look at the baby.
Hi.
So, whose heart did you have to like? How did you break up with your most like? I don't know. Let's not even say the latest ex, but like, how did you break up with someone? Like, what was like the worst?
I've been with my partner for 11. So the last time I broke up with someone, or I got my heart broken, vice versa, was like in high school. And I feel like in high school, like those relationships, they're not as serious as when you're like an adult. Like, you know, it's more like puppy love.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember, I feel so bad. I remember I didn't really I got my heart broken maybe once, but that's because I got my heart broken by the guy that I lost my virginity with in high school. And you know, when you lose your virginity, it's like, they're like the world's, like, you know, they're like everything. And like, you know, you fall so deep in love because you give a part of yourself to that person. But that's the only time. But other than that, I kind of was a different person in high school. I kind of did the heartbreaking, and I am not proud of that. But
How did you
but
do?
first of all, I have daddy issues, so that's why. But I did a lot of heartbreaking, and I remember there was one bad one where this guy was younger than me. He was 2 grades younger than me, and that was the only time that I ever dated a young guy. And he was very attached to me, but at that time I wasn't really into relationships. And I broke up with him over the phone, not through person, which is like really bad. but I called them saying this is not gonna work out anymore. And then I had to see them the next day at school.
Oh my God.
God, that was the worst time because he started crying like at his locker. Like he started sobbing and people would walk by and be like, you know, like, okay. And he's just sobbing and I just feel so bad. But like, other than that, I've been with my partner for 11 years since I was 18 and I'm 29 now. So I haven't been on a date or been with any other relationship in like over a decade. So my breakups were in high school.
Me too, girl.
Wow. All right. Well, let me ask you this. Since you mentioned that, you know, the dating was at a young age, is there like a specific age range that women look for? I guess it also depends on where you are in life too, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so you mentioned, you know, Jasmine, that you don't date down. You did it once and now like that was it, right? So you date up. What about everyone else? Like, is there like some people prefer 5 years up, 5 years down, or, you know, someone that's significantly older or someone that's...
You know, yeah, you know that saying, like, age is nothing but a number.
Mm-hmm.
And again, going back to the fact that, you know, some people mature more than others, and I'm talking both guys and girls, and like, as long as I guess, like, you're legal, it'd be okay. I mean, I personally I would personally go for an older guy, just so not saying like they're like more mature than like somebody who's like 21, right? But I don't know. My preference is just like somebody older than me, because then I would assume that they have more wisdom, and knowledge of some things. I'm not really sure.
No, that makes sense. I mean, it's like, without being so blunt about it, you don't want to date someone that's a dummy. You know what I mean? You got to accept people for who they are, right? So you want to, whoever you're with is supposed to be that upgrade to like everything that you do. You know what I mean? Like you said about like the cheerleader and stuff like that.
Can I share something real quick?
Yeah, whatever.
The reason why I broke up with the young guy in high school is because I'm older, right? So my mom gives me more of freedom because I was in my senior year or my senior year. So I didn't really have a curfew like that. Like I didn't have, like, my curfew was a lot later, like not like the next day or anything, but my curfew was just a lot later. And his curfew was 7 p.m. His mom was so strict.
Wow.
And then when I went to go hang out with him at his house, his mom had to be right there in the same room, like in the living room with us.
Is that you think it was a cultural thing with that one?
I don't know. She didn't really like me because I was the older woman, but I just couldn't, personally, because I guess I'm in high school, like I couldn't do it like a younger guy. Maybe it would be different if we're like both older, but he's younger than me. But in high school, it's like...
It's still a kid.
It's like I felt like I was dating a little kid. Like, you know, he had to report to his mom. He couldn't be late. It had to be 7 p.m. on the dot. And I'm like, my curfew is like midnight. You know?
Damn.
Ooh, sometimes that don't change. There's some mama's boys out there, I'm telling you.
Yes. I was like,
but yeah, you gotta be legal. Like, especially in 2020 with all of this stuff out. Oh yeah. They better be, there's too much pedophile talk.
I think
I was like, out there right now.
And he was like 15 or something like that. I don't remember, but like he was younger than me, and I was just like, nah, I'm not feeling it. So now, after that, I went with older guys, and my partner is 6 years older than me. Okay. So when I was 18, he was 24. I was legal. I just want to report that.
I do the love, hate, marriage, just friends test. Y'all ever do that?
No.
That's where you take their name, you write your whole name out, like first, middle, last, whatever. I'm Filipino, so there's like 10 names.
MASH.
But
It's not MASH, Sheila?
MASH.
No, it's literally it's love, hate, marriage, just friends. So what you do is you write those 4 letters on each initial, like, or each letter. So for me, Sheila, right? If I was just Sheila, that's my first and last name, and you were dating me, be like, ooh, let's see what it's going to be with Sheila. So S would be love, H would be hate, E would be marriage, and I would be just friends, L would be love, and then A would be hate. Be like, dang, I'm going to hate this girl. I can't be with her. I can't be with her. Yeah, you got
No, to answer your question, no, I've never played that game.
No,
Wow.
same.
I've never heard
The
of that
next
game.
guy that comes around for me.
Now you
No, not that.
now you got guys on dating apps using like Grammarly and spell check to count the letters of the name and stuff like that.
Yeah, they got, I'm telling you, it works. I got married with mine, okay?
Mm.
All right, here's another question. Do you feel your significant others take a toll on your friendship? Like, does it change the dynamics that when you're in a more committed relationship? Let's hear
No.
it. Go ahead, Herrelin. I see you.
It should not.
I think only if you let it, but it shouldn't. I think that although, when you have like a spouse, it becomes like your family, your priority. I think if you care about your friendships, they should also play a role in prioritizing. It might not be as much, but if you don't make it a priority in some sense, then that's your fault.
Well, let me ask you this: since you're married, how do you feel about like one of your homegirls being very close with your man?
I think it's fine.
Like
I have
they
no
said
problem with
they talk on the phone, just them two. Like you come home, it's like 1:30.
Well, thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. But I think if
Okay.
I married him, then I'd have to trust him in every aspect. And if I didn't, then I wouldn't even consider marrying him.
I see
Yeah.
all the women agree with that.
I mean, if they on at 1:30, it better be to, be planning my surprise party.
Well,
That's-
I can tell you that my husband actually plays with one of my best friends, Krisha. I don't know if I should be saying this, but they play League of Legends and all other kinds of like
But see, that's a game. I'm talking about
online
like,
games. So,
but I'm talking about like talking like late night or like just randomly texting a lot.
well,
Like-
late night, then I'd be like,
Yeah,
wait, what's happening? Let me see these conversations. But no, I think he should know that if that would cause a red flag for him, it would cause a red flag for me. So
There's gotta be
I wouldn't.
boundaries.
Red
I
flags
wouldn't
all
go
over.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah. So like one of
So
my
if
one
I
of,
started calling Keith, Herrelin,
Oh, Giselle, that's expected.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like same thing with her.
so like
oh,
one of my close friends, like, is a woman we've known her for like years, and then she got married. So like me personally, out of my who I am, my integrity is, I decided to become friends with him. You know what I mean? Like, and then eventually him and I became close. And I wouldn't say I lost my friendship with her, but it was still there's like that boundary that you still have to respect.
Yeah.
But then here's the crazy part. Let me ask you your opinion. So him and I are not cool anymore, but it played a toll on my friendship with her. And I've known her for a long time. He's a right? Do I tell her that your husband's an or do I just cut it off? You see what I'm saying?
She knows.
She's a casualty of the war.
I mean, she knows if he's she got to live with that.
Yeah, that's true.
She married that, so I'm sure she knows. So it's like, I talk about this with my fiance, my future husband, like with guys, even when you see them in like a bad situation with like a girl that is just not for them, you don't say it. You're just like, all right, man, like you got to kind of learn for yourself, right? I feel like that's with girls too. Like I've seen it in friendships, and even though they come to you crying and saying like, oh, he did this and did that, like he doesn't respect me, or he, made me upset again, but then they go back to him, it's because they got to learn from themselves. It's like you can only tell yourself when you've had enough. So
true.
I mean, for my advice to you, she'll eventually, be at that breaking point when she's like, nah, I'm done. Like, that's why people can't be friends with you, because you're an asshole.
Even though our episode is called Girl Code, I do feel there's a lack of that in the community of men. With the trust and the communication, and I feel like men don't try to uplift each other as much as they should. You know what I mean? Because we get it. It's in our DNA to be a little competitive, but at the same time, I just feel like with men in general, we're just a bunch of haters. Like there's selfish haters. And I feel like that's the part you have to question yourself just as a human being. Like, is your selfishness that much more important to hurt someone that you're supposed to be cool with? You know what I mean? Because eventually you're just gonna be by yourself. You're just gonna be a loner just because you're screwing everyone else over. But then, so here's a good question: what is the most important thing for a relationship to be successful? I mean, obviously we talk about respect. Like, what really means respect? Because there's a thin line between respect and love. Like personally, as me, I'd rather be respected than loved. Like, what's y'all take on that?
I want both.
You
I want both too.
I want all of it. If I'm gonna be in a relationship with you, like I want the whole package. I feel like there's really no fine line because you want it all. And to answer your question, the first thing that came to my head was communication. Like I can communicate some things that I don't appreciate, but if I don't say anything, they're just gonna assume that everything's fine. You know what I mean? So I think that communication is definitely key in any kind of relationship, and that's also why like healthy relationships work out in the end.
What's your take, Herrelin?
For me, speaking because I am a Christian, the most important thing for me is a relationship with God. That is what I value most in relationships, because I feel like if you've read the Bible, if you know what God is about love and all that things, everything else will follow, like trust, communication, So for me, that encompasses everything as a whole. Just having God at the center of your relationship. For me and my husband, that's what works for us. And it helps us get through arguments or fights that may be like very petty, thinking about it like 2 or 3 days later. It helps us to like really focus on what our relationship is about and how to overcome any obstacle that comes our way.
Well, for me, I've been with Oscar for 11 years. Seems like a long time. For us, because I'm not going to lie, we had our share of ups and downs in the past 11 years. But in the end result, what made our relationship better was communication. And I know everyone is saying that, but it's so true, because now instead of holding things in or like pushing it under a rug and not solving the issue that we're probably both having, like we're communicating. Like I'm like, hey, I don't like when you do this, or he'll tell me, hey, like you haven't washed the dishes, and like I don't like seeing dishes in there. Like, it's like, because he's basically my husband, his wife, but like it's just certain things that instead of like keeping it in and like having it like boil, like it could be the smallest thing, like you didn't take out the trash or whatever the case is, and instead of like keeping it inside, like we communicate our feelings now, and we couldn't do that before. We couldn't tell each other what made us like annoyed, so then we can fix it and then we won't annoy each other anymore. So for us it was communication and respect, because I told Giselle that I was going to be really real and raw on here. So in the beginning of our relationship, we didn't have respect for each other. And then we eventually did break up once. But after that, we told each other that the respect has to be there or this can never work. And so we both had to really work on it. But more importantly, we had to work on ourselves, because how can I love someone if I don't love me? How can I respect someone if I don't even respect myself? So I literally had to put in the work as well, and he did too, and now we're good. So that's our love story.
I love that. Everybody, everything everyone says encompasses everything that I believe too, but for me it's about like being open-minded, to like new things, because hey, one thing that he may do that I don't like, I may just not, like Jasmine said, I may just not understand it. And same thing for me. Something that I do that might irk him, if we just talk about it and I'm like, this is why I like it, or this is why it's this way with me, then he understands it. But then when I get his viewpoint, if I'm open to changing my behavior to, make it a more copacetic type relationship, then, that makes the bond stronger, and that shows that we'll meet each other halfway to be taking more new information and changing an opinion about something, like I think is key in any relationship, to not be so stubborn. So for me it's being open like that, just being open and minded and understanding and welcoming to new ways.
I think another big part that plays in that is, one thing I feel like people don't talk about that often is just being kind, just being a kind person and understanding that their wants are just as important as yours. So what are you going to do to accommodate both? And that's probably the key of it. It is the compromise part of it. I do agree with the communication. I can admit myself I've had poor communication, but I feel sometimes I've over communicated and I said some put my foot in my mouth and got me in trouble. So communication is good, but there's like a limit there.
Healthy way.
Yeah. So
A healthy.
yeah. So I definitely, you want to be able to express how you feel, but it's also I don't know. It's like a weird contradiction. I just feel that if you are expressing it, you can be emotional, but don't be too overly emotional. Like you have to like really think things, through and stuff like that, So, all right. So we are coming to the end of our show. So I got like a couple more quick questions real quick. And then each one of you get a 30-second plug. The microphone is yours. But here's a question. So speaking of women empowerment, right? I'm a big fan. I'm a girl dad. Disney made some big moves. They acquired Star Wars, they acquired Marvel Comics, and if you notice, Disney in general, their movies are moving towards, female main cast roles, right? And also pushing the envelope and going towards minorities, which is good because that is what the United States is really about. It is a melting pot. We are all different people. So you gotta accept it, motherfuckers. Okay, so anyway, so with that being said, should Princess Leia be a Disney princess?
Should what?
Princess Leia?
Princess Leia from Star Wars. Should she be a Disney princess?
Is she not already one? I don't know.
She should.
I always thought
I've never watched a single Star Wars movie, so
Yeah.
sorry.
I love Star Wars.
I know who she is, though. She's
Yeah, I
great.
know who she is because she has those long
Jasmine,
braids,
ask Oscar.
hair is flowing, those buns or whatever. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Is a Star Wars.
So sorry. I've never seen a single movie. My bad. It's on my
It's
list.
good.
though.
You should watch it.
That list that everybody.
It's really
has.
good.
Are we kind of on our own on this, Grand Booba? So are you telling me none of you ladies seen Star Wars before?
Well, I've seen bits and
All of them.
parts.
I've seen all of them. I actually love the. Older ones. I think it's the 70s or.
That's what we're looking at right here.
Came out, but I like the older ones. I like the older ones better than the new ones.
Well,
in my
Jasmine.
opinion.
So, what do you think? You think she should be a Disney princess? Oh, I think you're frozen. Is she
Yeah.
frozen?
Is me-
I
am
saw
I
what you
frozen?
did there.
Right? But
Is she frozen? Are you frozen, Jasmine?
She must
can
be
you guys hear
Elle.
me?
We can hear you now.
right? You Elsa?
Okay. I just think
Anna.
that she should, and she's badass. I think she's badass.
I agree.
So being a comic book nerd, and I fully embrace it, and I don't care. The thing about Princess Leia, what made her so significant was that she was one of the main cast members of a historic movie that's going to be around for our great grandkids, right? So it's a big part of not just American pop culture, but internationally, right? She was a general of an army. So in the storyline, she's a general and a princess, and she was also the daughter of the most powerful Jedi, which was Darth Vader. So and then the fact that they moved into Disney, I don't know why they haven't done that yet. I just think it'd be a smart move for them to make her a Disney princess. Why not? She's a general of an army.
Yeah, for the rebellion, and I feel like she just like the way she handled her business with everyone, like took charge and everything. Like that's what I'm saying. She's badass. Like I freaking love her.
What's your boyfriend's name or fiance? What is it? Boyfriend? What's
Me?
his name? Yeah.
Oh, Oscar.
You tell that man, like, you need to keep you for the fact you know all that in Star Wars, brother. You need to keep that woman. Look, if a woman knows that stuff, she knows her shit, man.
I love it. I love you guys need to see it. It's so good. Oh my god.
I
I like the old ones better, but
I tried to watch Rogue One, and
No.
I don't know if I was
No,
tired
you
that
gotta
day,
see.
but
That's
I
where you
fell
went wrong.
asleep.
So-
You gotta start from the nitty gritty. You gotta start from like episode 4,
from the
5,
70s.
6.
Yeah, you got to go
Yeah,
in
You know
that.
how long
70s
those
on up.
movies are? Like, I don't have
How
time
long
to
you
spend
plan-
2.5 hours.
You don't want to spend that
To
time with your
sit and watch
significant
these
other?
movies.
That's like
greatness.
that's QT. That's quality time. Okay, the next snow blizzard, watch Star Wars together. Next snow blizzard when you get snowed in. Right, Sheila? You have something to do. You can watch Star Wars if you
Now-
need to.
I know, right?
Or more like Twilight or Twilight. What's the other one?
Okay, great. This is the end of the show.
Suddenly the podcast just ended.
Wow.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, show's over.
I'm about to go watch.
He's gonna edit that part out.
I'm about to go watch Game 5 real quick.
I'm about to go watch Victorious. Good God.
Victorious. Oh my god.
iCarly.
iCarly.
Yo, you know,
How old is your?
my daughter, she's 8. She's 8 years old.
Oh,
Let me see. Let me see. Let me show you a picture. Hold on.
No,
Yes, please.
she's
daughter-
the cutest thing ever.
Oh my
her. Oh
gosh.
my
That's a
God.
sunflower field.
She blazes. She's so cute.
What are the shows right now on Disney that you allow her to watch?
She can watch any of the older ones, newer ones. She what she's really into right now. It's funny I did say Victorious because we watch it religiously because she watches it all the time. She watches that. She watches the old stuff like Drake and Josh, iCarly. Cartoon wise, she watched like Lego Friends. You know,
Okay.
so you know she's growing into a little old lady. It's not like kid stuff anymore. You know, so.
She's into Karate Kid.
Oh my God, yeah, I
Nice.
got her to
Nice.
watch the original Karate Kid because we watched the one with Jaden Smith, and I'm like, oh, Jackie Chan's supposed to be Mr. Miyagi, and she's like, who's Mr. Miyagi? I'm like, that looks like your granddad because my dad was like kind of bald in his head, right? And so we watched it the whole time. She was like, why are they so mean to him? I'm like, but what if they're not really mean to him and Daniel's really the mean one? She's like, what do you mean? So we watched number 2. Then I showed her the trailer for Cobra Kai. Have you seen Cobra Kai?
Yes, I saw the trailer.
Oh my
By
God.
the way, Friday night on Netflix.
Friday night
Cobra
on
Kai,
Netflix.
Season 1 and 2.
Season 1, 2 are coming out, and then season 3, which is the biggest plot twist because season 2 had the plot twist, is coming out in the wintertime. Let me tell you, it's I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan, but the story is so good to compare what you saw before to see it from a different point of view. So I'm just gonna spoil it a little bit for those that haven't seen it.
Wow.
So the story's always been the Italian kid comes to California. He's hanging around a bunch of rich people, and they bully him and they beat the crap out of him. And he just wants to date the girl, and that's pretty much it. And he won the respect in a karate tournament, right?
Yeah.
Flip the story. The blonde kid was a poor rich kid. Parents used to abuse him. He took karate to build his self-esteem. And then this Italian kid tries to holler at his girl and starts a fight with him. And it goes from there. So it's from a different point of view. And now it's like 34 years later. It's really good.
Oh.
It's really good.
My daughter loves that kid. I showed her this year on Netflix or I think Disney or whatever it was on. I think it's Netflix. But my daughter saw all the Karate Kids. It was like 1, 2, and I think there's 3, right?
3 was so bad. I didn't even.
Well, there was
show
4
her
of
yet.
them. The 4th one was like forgotten. It was when Miyagi taught the girl.
Oh,
Yeah, the next Karate Kid.
Oh, Swan. What's her?
Hillary Swank.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
the next
really
Karate
bad.
Kid.
Yeah, the next Karate Kid. Yeah, it was really bad. Like
Yeah, my
I
daughter
was
hasn't seen that
forgetting.
one, but she saw all 3 and she actually loved it. She loved it.
Damn. The 80s were cool. It was different times.
Yes, they were.
Different time.
Mhm.
All right, so we're coming to the end of our show. Like I said, as I promised before, first, thank you for spending your time with us and sharing us about your inputs on relationships and the girl code. You do have a 30-second plug. You can promote yourself. You can say something positive for the people out there. The mic is completely yours. The camera is yours. And like I said, you have 30 seconds. Your name will show up on the screen. Once your name disappears, that's a sign. It's 10 seconds left. So we'll start with our host.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for hopping on. You can find me on Instagram, JAHZYYY_. I keep forgetting. And tune in for the next show that we're going to have. And yeah, I don't really like. Oh my gosh! Well, thank you.
You know what? You're gonna host a show by yourself the next one. It's all on you. It's on you.
Oh, hi guys. I'm Herrelin. You can find me on Instagram at Herrel Santiago. I also don't have a plug, but it was such a pleasure doing this podcast and being invited to it. Hearing everyone's experiences, difference of opinions, and I look forward to hearing more podcasts from you guys.
Hey everyone, you can find me on jasmine.caceres. I actually am a photographer, so I do have my photography account in my bio. So check it out. Yeah, I don't really have much to say, but I guess what I could leave with is if you are a parent, and if you are feeling lonely like me, you can reach me and we can talk. Any moms out there, or even dads, because being a parent is hard. Okay, being a parent of more than one is even harder. So sometimes you can get really stressed, and it can really just wear you down. So sometimes you need that friend or that parent to like vent to, and they can understand you. So if you need that, I can be that person for you. So thank you.
All right, Sheila.
Hey, everybody. Sheila here. Thank you again. I loved this show episode. I can't wait to tune into more. You can find me on Instagram at selflovesheila, and that's what I'm all about. So if you are into delving more into self-discovery, personal development, personal growth, come find me. Come talk to me. I love to talk about that stuff, and I'm also into metaphysical stuff. So if you like to learn about alchemy and everything like that, come talk to me. I loved having conversations about that. I also love sharing with the type of products I use. So I'm an advocate for vegan, just skincare, hair care, all of that type of stuff. So come in, let's be friends. Let's talk. Let's share a table together. This is my favorite quote. And it is, the more fortunate we become, we don't build a taller fence, we build a longer table. So I really would love to invite you to sit at the table with me and come and join the family. It's all fun, it's all good, and it's all good vibes all the time. I'm telling you, self-love.
Go ahead, Grand Booba. It's all yours.
Thank you. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at grand_booba. You can also find me on Twitter at grand_booba. And also, don't forget to check out the Dirty 30 podcast food review page on Instagram as well. It's at the Dirty 30 podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. And one more thing, please, on November 3rd, go vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because it really does.
All right. So thank you for checking out the Fresh Delivery Show. You can find this episode and other episodes on our Anchor app, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. You can also find our YouTube channel where you get to see our videos of the actual recordings of the podcast as well, the food reviews, etc., on our YouTube channel. But like what Grand Booba said, you know, with the things that are going on right now with police brutality and the politics, we want to make sure that we are, you know, we're not going to judge people based off their political status, but you want to make sure that, you know, you are doing your research, you're looking at the person's background, their stats and everything, but also their moral compass of who they are and what they're trying to do best for this country. And, you know, we just need to have everyone involved. And, you know, we suffered that the first time. And, you know, as a country, we need to restore that phrase, we the people, because if we stand united together, then we could actually make some change. Also, with that being said, just make sure that you guys are being safe. You know, with the COVID situation, you want to make sure that you are still practicing social distancing, but you want to enjoy life and don't let life enjoy you. I am the Shaolin Fantastic, and we're out, y'all. Peace.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye. Good night.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out the Fresh Delivery Show. You can view and listen to our episodes on our YouTube channel or listen from your favorite media source, Anchor, Apple and Google Podcasts, iTunes, the Google Play Music Store, and Spotify. Peace and blessings. Love you guys.